Am I live? Okay, so I have to check my settings here. Make sure I'm live, or at least recording. So yesterday, put in a pretty long day on this, about 8. Let me turn my volume down. Check my settings here. Make sure I watched the comments on the phone and actually monitor to see if I'm still broadcasting, because I've been having trouble with my software. So anyway, yesterday I worked to draw the right trusses for the carport, and even experimented with some metal roofing and gutters, and probably spent too much time. I spent about 8 hours on this little connector. You can see here for the trusses, you can some smaller trusses that match the bigger trusses. And I think I'm going to suggest, because really we need some posts that come down here where this connects, and the beams aren't lining up exactly right now. I'm going to suggest that we maybe make this a little smaller, the connector, so that the posts are maybe not directly in front of the window or the door. This is kind of awkward. You could hang these beams, these connector, this little connector piece, you could hang them off of this beam. You could size this porch beam going across here with maybe 3 or 4 LVLs, and then hang this. I was kind of envisioning this as like a timber beam, maybe a big 6x12 or something, because it's not going to be carrying that much weight, just that little connector. Maybe put some metal brackets on either side of it, kind of cool, black, you know, heavy. Dang it, got below my dirt. Anyway, then I got all the roof decking on, which was a little bit of a task because of this little bit of a weirdness here in the back. But today what I need to do is work on this back patio. You can see I don't have anything holding up my patio, and I've got an idea for a little connector roof here. He wants to be able to walk from the master bedroom over to the patio without, you know, getting wet, but I don't want to extend this long sloping roof, this low. I don't want to extend it out. So I've got an idea about that, and I'm gonna try it out on him. And I was just getting ready to start putting some lines on here for the patio. I like to put the patio down about at least 1.5 inches, so that as you get rain, it doesn't want to wash any rain that blows in. It doesn't get blown in under the door. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to come back. I'm going to leave a 2-foot landscape border here. And this is the other thing I like about this idea. I'm going to move this door over. Is that you don't want to just plaster your entire backyard with concrete. You can, but it's not very appealing. So you want to have green areas, you know. And doing it this way, you'll see. Why didn't that close? That concerns me. I've been having troubles. This house is on an odd axis, and I've been having trouble. There we go. So something wasn't connected or something. But I know my lines are coplanar when that closes properly. And then this will come out. I don't think this should come out, unless he wants it to, all the way to the end of the house. So I'm going to put me a line here down 1.5 inches, and then I'm just going to for now assume that this, I guess to get this coplanar, I can do this, and then I'll have a guide for coming out here. And so I think you don't really notice 1.5 inches stepping down. I see that should have closed too. Something is weird. Yeah, something is weird. I have a feeling it's this. What you could do to kind of isolate. See, I should be able to draw triangles in here. I hate this. This takes up so much of my time with SketchUp. This mess, I get into. And I started out with this I love SketchUp, but some of this stuff is just not, it's just a pain, to be honest with you. And I know it's user error, but if it was a little more user friendly, it sure would be a lot easier. So I should be able to draw, a rectangle from here to there and everything closed, and and then I should be able to delete all these lines, and that should connect, and it does, and so everything's copacetic. But why is that not deleting? I must have had that in a group. Yeah, I accidentally put that. I'll put that in the foundation group. I didn't want to put this in the foundation group. As a matter of fact, speaking of groups, I wanted to do all this work in a group. So I'm going to grab all these lines. Yep. And I'm going to delete these. I really I had put that, I don't want that in the foundation group. And I think that was my original problem. That's what it was. It wasn't that it wasn't coplanar, it's that those lines were not in the same, it was in another group. So this slab will be, let's call it 4 inches for now, because it's a non-structural slab. That looks wimpy, so I'm going to change it to 6. We'll call it 6 for now. If he doesn't want to make it 6, that's fine. The other thing we're going to have here is a fireplace that is, I would say, centered on here. So I'm just going to offset the slab to remind myself there is a center here somewhere. There it is. And that's probably going to be about 6 feet, I would say, at least, for the scale of this. So what we're doing is just sort of schematic design. This is going to come out at least, I would say, 3 feet. Well, maybe not that far, maybe 30 inches. We're trying to, with the schematic design phase, I'm trying to do my best guess at what I think the owner would like. And so, but also I'm trying to influence that with my experience in construction and what I think would work well as far as, I need to quit getting inside the foundation group. I want this group to be its own group because I'm going to isolate these. The foundation for this is not going to be related necessarily to the foundation of the house because, you know, my wall for this is going to be stepped down, and we'll pour this slab on top of the foundation wall for it. Let's just go ahead and show ourselves a foundation wall. And we'll just go down to there. Let's just, for now, I'm just going to show it. I'm not going to show all the steps right now. I'm just going to bring it straight down and bring it even with that foundation. Why is that not clicking? And black screen. Now I've got to pay attention to see, hey, Warsaw Patriot, how have you been? Message retracted. What did you do? Call me a name? Just kidding. I've been having trouble with my software, and so I have to keep an eye on it. We're going to show this as an 8-inch wall for now. It's going to be a low wall, and for now I'm just going to show this. Again, this is our schematic design phase, and we're not going to get too worried about picky things. Yeah, what I should have done, honestly, I should have kept these. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn off this terrain. Why didn't I think of that before? I keep having to look under it. Now this foundation is not going to be this tall. Under here we'll step it, but for now I'm just going to show it. What I meant to do though was keep all this in a different, I should be keeping the foundation in a group of its own, so it should be a nested. So I'm going to grab that. Let's see, it's been a rough week. Artist and Tony, a good friend of mine on YouTube, and the rest of us. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that. Warsaw Patriot said a friend had passed away. That's tough. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm going to put this stuff in its own group, and because I'm in a group already, I can just grab stuff easily, and I'll probably just make a group. Now I can. Now this, since the foundation for this is in its own group, it won't stick to this slab. It'll be independent of this slab. Now I'm in that group editing the foundation wall. So what I'm going to do is just bring this down to there. Oops. I have to keep an eye on the computer now, man, because did that close? So what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to make a layer called Patio. Do I already have one? patio, and I'm going to put this slab, oops, why did I do that? Why did I do that? What I should do is take this foundation out. So cut it out. Oops. I am not paying attention to my CAD standards this morning. Now I gotta explode that. Trying to put all this stuff in its own group, and now I'm in danger of grabbing more stuff than I wanted to. Did I grab anything else? Because I wanted this to be in a group by itself, and that to be in its own group. Now I can put this in the patio layer and turn it off so it'll be out of my way. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. Now see, I can edit this layer, and we're back to decent. We're back to CAD standards now. Thank you. Where we want stuff to And I know anybody that's watching this is like, man, that's messy. It's just messy. What I should have done was just drawn the outline of it. And see, this is what happens when you don't practice good CAD standards, is that you get a mess. And, you know, it takes a while to clean up your mess. But there, now we have us a little 8-inch foundation wall with faces all over the place that are different, and we're going to fix that just a second when we decide how they decide to fall out. Here we go. We just have to reverse this one and this one. Get them all back. That reversing the face, sometimes it's hard to see because of the shadowing that SketchUp does, which comes in handy in some cases. So that's good enough for now. This is all good enough to get us to where I wanted to be right now, which was, let me turn the terrain back on. You can see how these grades are, the owner took these grades, so which was good, so I can get a realistic idea of how this is going to work. Now, what I want to do though is still work, because I'm going to turn my patio back on, and yeah, that still works. So what you would have then is we'd have some kind of a column here, which means I may have to make my that you'd want to be at least 8 to 10 inches. You know, these, I'm just going to show right now I'm just going to show like a 10-inch square, 10 by 10. And we'll just run it up there and see if it looks big enough. But that would be on a stone base, and that doesn't look big enough to me. But I hesitate to get too detailed right now because there's no telling what the owner will want. So that didn't work. That wasn't 12 by 12. That is. So I'll pull this up and I'll make it a group, and then later on I'll turn it into a component. Well, I'll go ahead and turn it into a component now, and I can edit it, and both my columns will change. If my computer am I froze up? No. That was scary. I keep forgetting there's a delay, and it looks like it's really annoying. If anybody knows anything about Open Broadcaster and you know what I'm talking about by the black screen, what happens is you will get a black screen, and then it will freeze up it'll still record the audio and your cursor, your mouse, you know, whatever, but then it won't record. The video will freeze. So I have to keep checking it. It's kind of annoying. Now that, again, those two columns are in real life, we're probably going to have something like and I'll show you why I make them components, because, you know, see how I'm editing that one and this one gets edited? What it'll probably most likely be, and I'm going to copy this part of it for now and move it over here. But let's say we'll have let's move this out 6. This out 6, and this out 6. What is that? I made that 12 inches, right? I mean 2 feet, yeah. We would probably have like a 2-foot stone, or a stone base with a cap, and then and what kind of freaks me out a little bit is that my axes seem to be screwed up, because getting that green axis in 2 different directions is not supposed to happen. So anyway, so you'd have that, and this would be like part of the foundation system, right? So it would come down. I'm just going to show it going below grade for right now, and then I'll go ahead and make this a group by itself, and then it would be up here. Let me put me some center lines up here first. that, and then you would have some kind of a, you know, it kind of goes on forever, right? Because then let me edit this. And see, this is where I get myself in trouble. I start getting into too much detail early, when I should just be, why is that? Here we go. Should be just showing like a generic post like that, and then I'll come back, and if he likes that, watch me, I'm getting ready to do what I said I wasn't going to do. Come back and run some trim around it. And this is spinning it around. And that would come out at least 3/4. But then you'd still even have a base under that. So this is all I'm going to do as far as detail right now. It really just depends on how you want these to look. If you want them to look rustic, they would have less trim. If you want them to look more traditional, you'd have more trim. So the possibilities are endless. You could make them tapered. There's a house that he's got. You see how this one, that's why you want to make components when you can, so that now when he comes back and tells me what he really wants, I can just adjust one of them. Now the reason I did that though is to put something in the way because I'm trying to figure out how to do my little idea here. That I've got 9 feet forward. My idea was to have a little trellis that wasn't as wide. In other words, if you're looking at this from the top, it was just a small roof area. Let me get this door. What is that? 10 feet, that should be 5, yeah. So if I can get to where I can just see that door. Well, it would be, this door would be centered. Any comments? Checking for comments. Add USA for huh. Wow, I remember. I think I remember him. Yeah, I remember him. I didn't watch his channel much, but huh. Hate to hear that. I remember Ed USAF. I thought that was his username, but you're saying it's the Crazy Scotsman. Well, God bless him. I'm sure he's in with Jesus. If he was in the Air Force. So, okay, so the idea is to have, here's what I'm trying to avoid. I don't want to extend this roof out to cover this whole thing. I just want a little protector thing, and this may not work out because I may have to have a few steps down. But over here in this area, I wanted to have, shrubs or plants or something. And I need to go through and start putting all the windows in, and I'll do that, but I need to get this kind of concept passed. This is really the hump I'm at right now, is getting from this door to this patio without getting wet. So let's just make ourselves some simple, for this it's a small thing, so let's just make ourselves a 6x6, and maybe that's western red cedar or something. And is that big enough? They're going to be at least 7 feet tall. Make that a group, and I'll go ahead and make this a component too, because I know I'm going to have 4 of them and I'll need to change them. And let's just say we're going to come 6 inches on either side of this door. And then we'll put us a 4x12. We'll go 4, which really would be 3.5. I'm assuming we're using dressed lumber on this. 3.5. 3.5. And what we'll do is we'll just make us a beam for right now. That's a 3.5 by 11.25. Oh shoot, I did it the wrong way. Should have said 11.25 first and then 3.5. And we'll pull that out a little bit. And we'll make that a group too. Now here's my predicament. Well, I don't need, that's right, I can connect it to the house on this side, but I don't need it to connect over here. But I do need it to go, and this is where my predicament's going to come into play. I need to figure out how to this beam can cantilever. Let's run the beam. Let's just pretend it goes this far, as far as the post. Then we could cantilever it. I might just have to make the, if we had a 5-foot door, everything could be smaller. That would be the trick. So if we move this door in, maybe I can get him to agree to this, because we haven't really talked about the size of these doors. If I move this over 6 inches, then I can move the Sometimes you get trapped inside your own CAD work. Then I can move this and this over 6 inches. Oh, black screen. Those black screens are what's been giving me troubles. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and make this beam a component too, because what I'm going to do is we'll give it some more frilly detail here, but for now I'm just going to show it not coming down, I don't know, 6 inches, and then we'll put us a bevel, 5, just to, for now, just to show that we're thinking about, oops, the fact that it needs to have some kind of detail on the end of it, like that. That needs to be probably more than 6 inches, or I mean less than 6 inches, but for now we'll just leave it like that. And then what we'll show here is, let's see how far back we can get by with. Can we get by with 2 feet? I believe we can. I'm going to claim we can get by with 2 feet right now. And you'll see what I'm doing in a minute, hopefully. Now see, this doesn't have to come all the way under here. This roof, you know, this roof will have a gutter on it. And so this technically doesn't have to come out. We could bring this back 6 inches if we wanted to. Wouldn't hurt anything at all. Let's just show it like that. And this column will be, again, this column will be more detailed. It's just, for now, I got to get over this hump of this concept before I get into, and that's what the schematic design process is for. You're pretty much getting over these humps. Is this 5 feet? You're getting over the hump of concepts. That's right. I probably could make it 6 inches to the outside if I was up high enough. Well, so now what I'm going to do is make a group that is my trellis. And then I'm going to go in and edit that, and I'm going to grab both of these and I'm going to copy them over. There. Now I think you're starting to see where I'm going with this. And I'm kind of hoping he will like this, because if not, something's got to be figured out. So then what you'd have is yourself a little rafter. I can't believe it. I've had 2 black screens and I'm still broadcasting. I better hush. I better just ignore it. So what I'm going to assume now is that we're going to have these little 4x6s. Let's see, what's my span going to be? That's like 7 feet. 6'7". Yeah, I could probably do it. 4x6. But again, I'll make these rafters components. Three and a half, 3.5. Now I'll grab that and make it a, oops, looks like I put a little diagonal line in there by accident. I meant to close it right there, yeah. So I need to get to where I can grab that without grabbing anything else. Make that a group. Now I think what I'll do is I'll start off with 8 inches, which is 7.25 if it's dressed. I don't know, maybe I need to add up 2 inches. Yeah, so and then this will come out 6 inches at least. It's already looking kind of thick. 6 for what we're doing. I don't know. Well, I'll figure that out. That needs to hang over a little bit farther, doesn't it? Let's see, how much room do we have here? Can't hang over too much farther. I have a feeling what I'm going to end up doing is, how long is this? 7 feet 7. Those could be 8 feet long. What was that? 5 inches, 2.5. So I could get by with 2.5 to make them 8 feet. Have to keep an eye on the comments. So now you're saying, well, what about the roof slope? Well, this is what I'm talking about right here. I'm thinking about coming up halfway and then going to the middle, then going halfway and taking that off like that. And then we would put some kind of little detail on here. We'd just, put a little curve or something on the bottom. I'm not going to worry about it now, but that would be like a rafter, really like a secondary beam. Then we would have, so then you'd have one of these. Did I make that a component? No, I'm going to though, because this is going to change. I can promise you. Yeah, well, hey, I'm vlogging. Then these would be like a 30-inch centers times 5. What is that? Times 4? Yeah, something like that. See if we can get one more. Perfect. How did I guess that? Don't know. Just did. So then you would have, that's getting a little close, isn't it? Well, this soffit though, the thing about it is this soffit gets, like these rafters get cut off. I'll just give you an example. They will get, I'll come down, 6 inches and we'll level that off. Where's level, man? Good Lord. And then that'll actually get cut off like that. I haven't even, I haven't shown the detail on the soffit. So the other side, yeah, see, that's why you make your rafters components too. Now all of the rafters for that whole thing. Let's see how much I cut off. I couldn't really see. Yeah, I could. Let me measure that. I was close. I need to cut off about, let's see, 5 and 5/16. That's good enough for now. I'm going to be detailing that whole soffit thing later. So, I need to get out of the roof and get back into my trellis. So, the point here is that you would have a little trellis thing here that you could walk under, and that would be about 8. It would have it like a little 8-foot ceiling in it. Be kind of cozy actually. From the top of this, yeah, actually it's 8'6". And as a matter of fact, that's where I can gain some height. I didn't realize that I had put it up so high. How did I get it that high? I didn't realize I was that high. I can drop that a few inches if I want to. And, you know, if there's any kind of issues here. But then what you would have is you could do like clear panels, or I probably wouldn't suggest that, but you could put little you could put furring strips on here now, or not furring strip, batten strip, or purlins, thank you, that we're probably just going to go ahead and show a 2x4 3.5 for now. And we'll make those a group. You just got to get, when you're selecting your stuff for your group, you need to get to where you're not selecting anything else, so it won't become a part of your group. Now I can go back in and edit that and bring it up 1.5 inches. That doesn't look too thick. I think a 2x4 will work fine. And you can do something like let these cantilever a little bit, you know, maybe not 10 inches, you know, maybe come out 6 inches or something. And then just to give it a crafty look, that would go there, and then you would have 3 on each side. You have 1 there, one there, and then where's the middle? That's 41. So we're just gonna, for now, we're just gonna go over 20 and a half just to get her close. Oh, that wasn't close, was it? Well, we got 1'8", 3/4. Need to go over another 1.5 inches. That's close enough. So, and then you'd have the same over here, which now I gotta change the pitch on it. And to do that, I can get out here on the end of it and do that. That's right. For now, I can stick it. This sometimes is frustrating because it won't back up sometimes when you're wanting it to. You got to get it at a different angle, then back it up. There we go. It didn't want to go down. Now I can rotate that back up, and then I can bring it back out to 6 inches. I can copy it. I keep forgetting to add my my 1.5 inch. Didn't look like it moved at all. There we go. So you see, you'd have a and then you could put your metal roof on top of that. See? And since we're getting a handle here, we might as well show that. So your little metal roof would go from here to there, and I'm gonna go ahead and fix myself a little group here. We'll go from there. Hopefully I've got all this on the same plane. It won't be. Oh, thank you, Jesus. So right for now, I'm going to show this just 1 inch thick. And I'll show you why. I've got this little thing, this little, let's see. Yeah, I've got this little thing, roof, that I can, roof details. I can add like a standing seam too. I don't want any gutters. See, and that works pretty good for just quick and dirty roofage. So then you'd have another one like that on the other side. And I could, well, what I should have done is I should have let that hang over a little bit. Let's go back and undo the roof, and we'll extend this out just to make it look more real. Then we'll grab our roof plane again and do our little roof newey, roof details. And since I've already done it, I can just add it again. I already set the parameters. So, not bad. I mean, that's just, that to me, it looks like I got, oh, see, this is where your CAD standards, I can't, let's see, is that going to extend now? Yeah, but I didn't delete that little line, so my thing didn't extend out. Your sins will come back to haunt you. That's what Mama always used to say. Oh, I gotta select the face. There we go. Honestly, I don't use that utility much because it's kind of annoying, to be honest with you. But now I can just take and hopefully copy this. Let's make this let's make it a component, and then if he likes it, or if he doesn't like it, it'll be easy to change. Why did I do that? Why is that highlighted? Why did it do that? I meant to grab this. And that, I make it a group. That's what I should have done. Somehow I grabbed the purlin. Now I'm going to copy this over. And put it right here. First I'm going to put it right here so I can get the slope right. Then I'm going to put it right there. Like that. And it'll have a little cap on it. But we can do that. We'll get into the details if he likes it. So I think that is cool. Honestly, I would rather have that like that than having, and see the point here is too, if you have windows, well, not if, you will have windows here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and show them. And you can still get light. Let there be light. So we don't want the window to come past this column. So what we'll do is we'll just put like a double 36-inch window there. Which is cool. And we'll come up 7 feet. That's your typical height. And we'll make it a 5-foot window for now. Now this is just the rough opening in the wall for the window. I'm not trying to get fancy at this point. I'm just trying to indicate a window there so that I can demonstrate. Now when the sun's up here, see, I can get light in through that window. If I extend this flat roof, and this roof is kind of flat anyway, the longer this gets, the longer it wants to get. It's also going to start to interfere with these two. If this roof comes down, if this roof comes out that far, then it's just weird. It starts to look like a trailer park. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's kind of the idea I want to portray. And these columns would have, they would be sitting on this concrete, and they would have bases, so you'd have to have trim around them for sure to hide. Because you wouldn't want your post. Let's see, I meant to say 3/4. Your trim at the bottom would be your sacrificial part, so that if something's going to rot, it would be the trim that's covering up the post base. And you know what I'm talking about, those Simpson post bases that hold your post up off the concrete and also attach it to the concrete. And you could even make it taller. You could make it, you know, to make it more crafty if you wanted to. Like it's a 1x6 instead of a 1x4, which I think it looks better that way. So, and that would all be out of like Western red cedar, you know, something really attractive, all of that, like the 2x4s and everything. And then you'd have your standing seam roof on top of that, and the water will just shed off both sides, hit this slab. This slab will have a slight slope to it, and I just like that. I don't know, I just like it better. I like it better than trying to extend this roof out another 8 feet, really another 9 feet. And we can play with this height. You know, it doesn't have to be this tall, depending on where your trim is on your door. Even if it's 4 inches, you see, I don't have to have it that high. You don't want this beam, you know, interfering with your door trim. You want to have a good, and you also don't want it too close to the door framing. You want to have your own framing in the wall holding up that post. So you can see I haven't put this is just roof, I'm showing roof decking. Eventually what I'll do is go in here, and the way I did add the roof detail is I'll grab that. I need to learn how this thing, it will put on a see, I just added the metal roof to that part, and that isn't easy, you know, even though it took me, you know, 4 hours yesterday to draw all the roof decking. Once I get past that hump, then I can, and you can actually add gutters to it. It has a gutter feature, but that's a hump I'm trying to get over. This little juncture right here. Now, what's kind of cool about this is out here, there's a pool, and he wants it to step down from here. Maybe there's a set of steps in the middle of this. And the other thing is too, you would have a rail along here. If you didn't grade the yard up here, you know, you'd probably want to have a rail there, you know, like a wrought iron rail that comes across here, and then you'd have your steps out here. And that's another reason to make this slab 6, you know, the edge of this decorative slab is going to have to be finished, so it'll turn down more. Dog, I told you I was going to trade you in for a Wofford Terrier if you don't hush. What we got between these posts? 17.3. What is that? 8'6", 8'7.5". Is that right? I'm good. And then, you know, I need to go look and see, but you'd probably want at least probably 6 foot wide set of steps here, because all this is kind of big. Now even that looks small. Even 6 foot wide looks small to me. But it just depends. He's kind of based this house on this house. Where is it? Right here. And you can see there's a good picture. See, this house has these large I think he said they don't like these tapered columns, well, which I don't blame him. I like the square timber frame looking. But you can see this has 3 steps down. Now this patio does extend out on this one. Let's go back up. I meant down. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay, so alright, it does come out here. Oh, it's a double-sided fireplace, so you have a table and stairs out here. Okay, so we do need to extend our, it was looking kind of small there, but that's no big deal. We can just easily, we can turn our patio off. And how can we do that easily? We would still need this stump here, but maybe the I'm going to put these porch columns in the patio layer for a second, so they'll go away. So I think what we'll do is we will show a line. 8. I could have just extended that. Let's turn our terrain off for a second. And I've got this way too deep, but I can fix that once we get past the concept of the whole thing. Make that out, come out to there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just show a step up for the fun of it right here. What I'll actually do, when I do those steps, I'll actually, let's see, that needs to go away like that. That was one reason why I wanted to isolate that, because I want to get rid of these two little walls. Rid of that. And I'll bring this get rid of that. Those two lines. And these are going to be concrete, just poured concrete walls. But see, as this goes up, you know, it can step up. As it comes around, you know, it'll step up. So even here, we would have a step somewhere in here, and I'm just right now I'm just indicating steps just so I can make this go up with the house like that. And then what I'll do when we go into construction document phase, I will my terrain, there we go, I'll go back and actually make those steps real steps, as in, you know, logical for where they should be. Now, the only thing I'm going to suggest too is that it's kind of nice to have landscaping borders. So, I mean, if it was me, I wouldn't take this all the way to the house. Just like if we turn our patio back on, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring this up so it'll be above the slab. Well, let's see. Let's go down. Let's take this down first, and then even this up. If it was me in my house, I would just bring this over to here, but I would leave a landscaping border there like I did over here in there. This would be plants. You don't want to plaster your entire yard with concrete. I wouldn't. And also, if you have, like, you're going to need a gutter over here. I mean a downspout in this corner somewhere. You don't want to run this big L without a downspout, and so that gives you a way to run your drains. You know, if this could be pea gravel or whatever, and you could have shrubs here, you know, like that. Now let's turn off our patio for a second, and we'll bring our fireplace back up. And what's that? Yeah. Why is that doing that? I'm just going to show this like a, oops, why do you do that? Why do you do that, SketchUp? Sometimes you act weird when I'm trying to work. It actually acted like it was supposed to. That, and then I'll bring this up and then above the slab and the patio. There we go. That'll kind of remind me. So I mean, if I wasn't going to do that here, I mean, I would do it here. I would have a planter there, just because, you know, you're going to have windows here, and you're not going to have chairs and stuff right up against those windows. So I would do that. So, and then this fireplace will come up. And at some point, it'll size down. It'll either go, you know, down from the middle each side or whatever. So if I go back and I look at these pictures, you can see these the steps actually go all the way from this patio area to this post over here. Not just where that's I was even saying a while ago that looks small the way I had them. So what we're going to do is we're going to, just for the fun of it, we're going to take just for the sake of showing this, I'm going to take this down 1 inch, and then we're going to make our slab 7 inches, and we'll, oops, we'll make us 3 7-inch steps there. So our next step can just come out even. So if we were just going to start something simple, we could just come out, say 12. Let's see, if we're going to come out, we could come down 14. And then we would come out 24, come up 7, go back 12, Come up to here. And why didn't that close? There we go. And then this would go. Let's make a group out of this so it won't. So it'll be easy to manipulate in the future. I think their steps are probably did they have 3 steps or three risers? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they just had 3 risers. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. You just have to, at some point, do it the way it looks good for you. Well, they got them wrapping around out here, so that makes sense. So what would happen is, but over here, I think they just need to, stop. As a matter of fact, I don't know what would look better. Maybe just stopping them at the, and then letting them curve around to the center. In other words, they'd come to the center of this column like that, and then you know, curve them around. And then from here, we would come out 24 inches. Turn off our terrain. And see, here's where you're just push that back, can't I? Yeah, I didn't delete those. Delete those lines. Now, he's got a lot of grading work to do, so at some point, well, what you could do is depending on how the pool works, I need to figure out how that's going to work. But I would just have a rail going across here. There's supposed to be, there's a little, did my thing freeze up? It froze up, didn't it? Dang it. Maybe it didn't. There is a, that's weird. My phone froze up, but not the thing. But anyway, there's like a, I hadn't quite figured out how to do this yet, but I'll just show you 2 feet. So if I came over 12 and I came up 36, let's come up 36. I draw myself a line from there. I think I can use this line. One of the one of the utilities this has, and I'm kind of experimenting here because I don't really like it that much, is a rail, a fence railing. Make fence, make polyline. Okay. Now add rail. Make fence, make rail. So right here, dog, we would pick out, let's see, let's go back. Railing metal, railing glass, balusters, and then create new. We want to do, you know, you could pick out something like this maybe, and let's look at our, let's just see what it does. Draw edge, curved series connected, create a group. Okay, okay. I can't create a group of just one thing. I have to have at least 2 lines to create a group. So let's make a group. See if it'll work now. I haven't used this much at all. Make fencing. Create a group, hang edges or a curve, select the group. Okay, alright, whatever. Well, that's weird. Why is it sloped? But at least it's working. I gotta go check the parameters. This is literally the first time I've ever used this. Let's do a different one. Let's do one that is like, cause I don't know what style they'll like. But let's pick out like a typical, you know, wrought iron, frilly rail. Let's do this one for the fun of it. And then we'll look at our parameters. There's some place that says whether it's sloped or not. No, it's straight. No, I don't want it sloped. Equalize segment. What do you? It's just flat. I can't see. See, this is why this is why I don't use it, because why is it sloping? Makes no sense. I couldn't even, it's just dumb. Okay, see, this is why I don't use it. I told you. Now I could why is it sloping? On my line is not sloping. You bunch of goobers. Anyway, see, it's a waste of time. You see, you have to go to some seminar to learn this crap. It just drives me nuts. And see, I'm about ready to delete this sucker. And by the time I figure it out, I could have just drawn it. Make a fence. Where is it? I can't see. It's so little. Edit the style, yes. Adjust height, no. Reuse component. Quantity takeoff, height, I don't need that. Okay, parameters. So This is what I don't understand right here. It should just be straight. And that says slope. That says step. That says step. Why is there not just a straight one? Drop to terrain. Let's do this. Let's put a line going down. Oops. Just to make sure that's balanced. Maybe the goober doesn't even understand that it's I stared at that thing so long my eyes are watering. Well, look at that. I just needed to put that other thing on the other end. Now it's not the right length, but I can delete. I can delete one of these. And then pull this back to there, because I'm going to go to there, and then did it make all those different? We're going to make that one group, and then we're going to move it. I don't know. That was probably still quicker than. Why is that not? I didn't make that part of the group. Dang it. Why did it not make all those? There. That's just something to indicate. Now, you know, in real life it would have posts there, but it's just something to indicate some kind of nice railing, you know, with a bellied wrought iron there. But, you know, I guess once I learn how to use that utility, it'll save me a little time, but it's really kind of annoying to learn that kind of stuff, to be honest with you. And then so we're getting there. I think what I'm going to do is take a break for lunch. It's almost 2 o'clock, and I will be back. Thanks for watching for now. Thank you.